Mark Hoke. And good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The Talk of Las Vegas, streaming on that Odyssey app, AUDACY, for all your great shows here on KDAWN and around the world. It's a terrific app. Get that right now. And, of course, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So check us out there. And if you happen to be listening on the radio and you can, pop that YouTube channel on, that would be amazing, because then you can chat with us in the chat box, give your thoughts about everything going on in the world of pro wrestling right along with us, because, we're fans too, and we have a great time doing this show. So hopefully you hop in and interact with us. We would certainly appreciate it. As you can tell, it was a long night yesterday, because we had to get through Wrestle Dream yesterday from AEW, and what a night that was. We're going to hit that and all the news in pro wrestling right here on the Mark Hoke Show. Got to welcome in one of my ride or dies here on the Mark Hoke Show. Let's get him in here right now from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in Austin, Texas, and home of those number one Longhorns, who took care of business yesterday. Not bad. Not bad, Stu Myrick. Way to go.
The Golden Hat returns to the 40 acres.
Oh.
It was a glorious day to be a part of Longhorn Nation. 34-3. Quinn Ewers shook off the early rust, did the thing, and man, it was a fun day at the Cotton Bowl.
There you go. And Penn State had a nice day at USC too. Not as nice as I wanted it to be, but a win nonetheless. So we'll take it. Wild one there in the Coliseum, and of course North Dakota State won. So, Stu, I'm getting my North Dakota State South Dakota State matchup next week.
Oh, there you go.
1-2.
Well, I think we got a slightly bigger game coming up next week here with Georgia coming into town to take on the number one Longhorns. Georgia getting the win yesterday. So Georgia, Texas, get College Game Day coming. Oh, and by the way, it's F1 weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the U.S. Grand Prix will be next Sunday. I think Eminem is the Saturday night concert, and Sting's the Sunday post-race concert, because it's Austin. We're the live music capital of the world. So they build the music around the race. So it'll be a huge deal down at Circuit of the Americas. And you mentioned Wrestle Dream. I think Tony Khan is thankful he did not make the trip to London with his Jaguars, because Jaguars are trailing 14-3, and they just gave up the ball, so Chicago's driving in Jaguar territory.
Boy, what a disappointing season for them, but it's okay. Tony Khan got something last night. A very interesting evening to the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington, as Wrestle Dream takes place, and we may have seen the official end of an era with Bryan Danielson, who went down yesterday, and he went down hard. We're going to talk about that and break down this card. And that's kind of where I wanted to start today, Stu, with Wrestle Dream. First, I just wish we could find a sweet spot between 11 matches and 5 matches. 7 or 8. Literally. That'd be great.
It's, look, I understand those that feel like you're paying $50 for the pay-per-view. You want as much as possible. But at the same time, and I said this on the show on Thursday night, I would say at least half of the Wrestle Dream card felt like a decent AEW Dynamite episode. For instance, Hologram and Mortos, that could have been on Dynamite.
Yeah.
I like the match, don't get me wrong, but that could have been on Dynamite. I am with those that say we should not see Ring of Honor titles on AEW show. At least not titled defenses. Now, if you want to use, say, Mark Briscoe in an AEW match, that's fine. But do not have him defending the Ring of Honor World title on AEW. have him defend it on Ring of Honor. Same thing with even with the TV title with Brian Cage winning it from Atlantis Jr. And that was on the pre-show, and I get that, but still, it just feels like there are too many titles.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I'm sure maybe there's going to be some changes made now that this TV deal's done. We'll find out. But yeah, we did have a couple of ROH matches on there. And you were talking about the pre-show. Brian Cage finally gets a good singles belt. I'd like to see him get an AEW belt, but ends up winning the TV title last night from Atlantis Junior. Solid match, but a good win for Brian Cage. Brian's done a lot of time here. He trained here at FSW, and was just fantastic. So I'm happy for Brian. That's a good win for him.
Yeah, congratulations, Brian Cage. We'll see what he can do with that, and I'm going to assume as far as I know, he is not in a faction right now, because you don't have the Gates of Agony around. He's not in any other I guess it's just him, which I wouldn't mind seeing anyway. I think he does his best work as a solo act. Being a part of a group, just, I don't know. It's not, or maybe we've seen him in the group too much. So I'd like to see him on his own.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Melissa out there. That'd be okay. She's pretty awesome.
Well, that's the thing. AEW could use another ring announcer, and Melissa Santos is a fantastic ring announcer. Of course, the venerable voice of Lucha Underground. She announced here for Wrestle Circus quite a few times. I would love to see her, with the mic in the ring.
Yeah. So, but congratulations, Brian Cage, picking up a title there. And then, unfortunately, I have the list here that doesn't have the matches in order. Let me see if I can get these right. The M&M collection taking on the Acclaimed. And Rico's there. If you remember, Rico from WWE was working with with Chuck and Billy. Rico in the sideburns.
Where'd they dig him up from?
I don't know. It's kind of highlight of the night for that match, but it was good. Solid match, and I think Eminem looked okay in this one, but they do not defeat the Acclaimed. Nobody beats the Acclaimed. That was just a fun little match at the start. But yeah, Rico giving you a little nostalgia pop there, Stu.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know where they dug him up from, but yeah, good interaction with him and Billy Gunn. Harkening back to the days of Chuck and Billy. But yeah, you knew the Acclaim were going over. Although MXM, they're becoming one of those fun acts to get a good smile on your face when you see them in the ring.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and just got the shaft in WWE. So we'll look forward to seeing if those guys can, maybe get a match with the Outrunners.
Now there we go. That needs to be at Full Gear. The Outrunners versus MXM collection.
Oh, that'd be all right.
Have that. Come on, Tony.
Tony Khan, I just booked your pre-show.
Not the pre-show. It needs to be on the pay-per-view.
Okay, we'll do that.
We want it. I want that as a featured tag match on the pay-per-view. It won't happen, but that'd be fantastic.
Also had an 8-man match that took place on that card, and bear with me for 1 second here, because I gotta get. Why is this? Oh, I see. I have the wrong window open. Bear with me for one moment, guys.
Well, I can because I've got it pulled up. Outrunners, Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly from the conglomeration, defeating John Silver, Alex Reynolds from Dark Order, along with the Tony Nese and Ari Daivari from the Premier Athletes.
Yeah, and the Outrunners, I don't know what it is about them. And maybe Stu, it's because it's from our era that you see these guys, but God, their energy is so infectious. They're just fun.
Yes.
And they can go too. I mean, it's a little bit more of a hammy comedy act sometimes, but there's a reason that people are really into these guys. And it's funny, they really outshone the conglomeration guys in that match. It was really neat to see, and you got to wonder what the future is for the Outrunners here.
Well, like I said, I think again, Outrunners, MXM at Full Gear, and then we need to get the Outrunners in a title shot. I say have them beat the Bucks.
Wow, calling Outrunners over Bucks.
Yes,
interesting.
Make that at World's End.
Well, you just want to, you're turning the tag team division upside down today, Stu Myrick.
Yes,
which is okay. It needs it.
It needs it.
It needs it. But yeah, so pretty wild one there to help open the show up. And then let's see. Sorry, Stu, I still don't have that window I wanted. What was the next match on the card? I apologize.
Well, that was the end of the pre-show.
So
you also had Anna Jay beating Harley Cameron.
Yeah, I knew there was one more. And that was a weird one, by the way. Yeah, decent match. But the end. Have you seen, Stu, a referee reach out to and tap somebody's shoulder to tell him to get it down? That was bizarre.
That was a I think that was a case of the referee forgot that there are like 40 cameras around the ring.
Yeah.
He was trying to be subtle but it got caught. I mean, it's it's just, I say it wasn't weird. It was just a matter of, like I said, he forgot there are cameras and tried to be subtle, and it ended up being caught, and so everybody ragging on it. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And then last match we'll get into before the break, and this is a fascinating result on this, with Switchblade Jay White taking on Hangman Adam Page. Of course, Page is coming off that crazy feud with Swerve Strickland, and Jay White goes over on this, counters the buckshot lariat at the end of the match, and a really good match between the two of them. But Jay White gets the win, and Hangman was furious, and don't blame him. But Jay White moves forward on this. What did you think? Were you a little surprised that Jay White won this match?
I was a lot surprised, quite honestly, because Hangman's been on this, path of the righteous run, and then he gets derailed by Jay White. And Jay White's a fantastic wrestler. I get a little nervous when he gets the mic just because he's long-winded, but I was surprised, but I'm going, okay, this could be something interesting, because you're kind of forwarding the bang bang gang a bit. And by the way, where were the guns? They weren't out there. I think they said they were nursing injuries. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Jay White, and I wonder what's next for Hangman Adam Page. Do they run this back? Does Page go after somebody else? I like Hangman Adam Page, but it just seems like they put him in these storylines, and then all of a sudden, it doesn't take long before he's like, okay, what next?
Yeah.
I mean, this whole path of the righteous thing, him being angry all the time. Well, okay, we've had that, but now he's lost, and I'm kind of going, okay, now what?
Yeah, for both of them. Now, Jay White is saying that he's on a revenge tour, basically, so we'll find out who else Jay White has in his sights. But yeah, it will be interesting to see where Hangman Adam Page goes after this, because taking a loss like that, very surprising. I mean, all the momentum's on his side, and then he goes down. So we'll see what happens with the Hangman. But of course, there's not a lack of opponents out there by any stretch of the imagination. So nice job, Jay White. Gets the Duke. So we'll keep it rolling with Jay White, and we're going to keep the show rolling here a little bit. And of course, just want to remind everybody, if you didn't bet on last night's card, you could have on betonline.ag. Just go to the markhokeshow.com and click on one of the banners, either on our front page or sponsor page, and you can get an amazing 50% sign-up bonus up to $1,000. I'm handing you $500. What else can I do? Use the code BOL1000 and just, like I said, go to markhokeshow.com first, and then you can bet on wrestling on betonline.ag, sports, all the football games right now if you want to hop in, baseball. They have cricket, pro wrestling, politics, anything you want. So check it out, betonline.ag. All right, stick around, everybody. We got more as we're going to keep rolling down through this card from Wrestle Dream last night, and a match that goes along with something the Undertaker said this week that Stu and I are going to get into a discussion about. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, the Odyssey app, and streaming YouTube, Facebook, and X. We'll be right back.
Did you know every 3 seconds someone is a victim of identity theft? LifeLock wants to give you helpful tips to protect your identity this Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Adding multi-factor authentication, like a text with a security code, is one way to boost your security. But for comprehensive protection, trust LifeLock. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal info and steps in to resolve issues that arise, guaranteed or your money back. Protect yourself with a 30-day free trial at lifelock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-230-8357. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now, 800-230-8357.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-230-8357. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-230-8357 or oxcarcare.com.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. Certainly one of the really important things in my life are our children and our grandchildren. I am essentially a writer. I've been involved in communications in the media. I've been an avid fly fisherman for at least 40 or more years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly, have a crisper ability to remember and think through things. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Robert Strickler is a content contributor for Prevagen and real user, based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
101.5 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get funky like a monkey. Oh, yeah. It's like the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes just had a heavenly birthday a couple of days ago. Boy, I miss Dusty, but it's all good. Welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Stu Myrick in the house. I try not to squeak my voice there. I'm just excited, Stu. I'm excited.
Well, hey, the Jaguars just scored.
Oh, good for them.
So it's about to be 21-10.
Ugh.
21-10, 6:02 left in the third quarter in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
They're learning a lesson about Doug Peterson, by the way. You know, the one we Philadelphia fans learned. But that's okay. We'll see. You know, if I wish I'd have gone to Wrestle Dream, I could have put my arm around Tony and said, "Hey, let me tell you something, brother." But I did
well,
not.
Shad Khan came out this week and, you know, gave everybody with the Jaguars a vote of confidence. So, you know, now
which means he's not that confident.
Well, yeah.
Whenever you have to do the vote of confidence, it means you're not that confident.
This is true.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
All right. So back to Wrestle Dream that took place up at the Tacoma Dome last night. A crazy night, to say the least. Mariah May knocks off Willow Nightingale. Willow had some pretty good moments in this match. Solid one, but Mariah May retains the championship. How long you think they're going to ride this one, Stu? I mean, Mariah is looking very good. And I think because she was under Toni Storm for that so long, she's very underrated. I don't know if AEW fans really understood just, you know, how statuesque, strong, great skill set in the ring. You know, she's incredibly talented and, you know, not just a looker. So, you know, how long is Mariah May going to keep this title?
That's a good question. I half expected to see Toni Storm come back, but of course she didn't. They gave Willow some good spots. I really would like to see her win the world title eventually, and it feels like maybe that time might have passed, but she's still very popular. As far as Mariah May, I could see her holding it possibly through maybe Revolution next spring.
Nice.
The question, of course, will be who takes the title off of her, and they've got several that are, you know, in line. Yeah, it's just a matter of who do you want to pull the trigger on.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with
you. Do you bring back Britt Baker? Do you do the rematch with Toni Storm? You know, there's quite a few that you could conceivably have defeat Mariah May.
Yeah, there's a lot of good depth in the AEW women's division right now. But, you know, I wouldn't mind a long reign from Mariah. But I am looking forward to seeing Toni Storm come back and take her on again. Tony's over goofing around Japan and putting up goofy videos. They're hilarious, by the way. If you're not following her on X, you should. She is something else. But yeah, so Mariah May keeps her title, as did the scapegoat, Jack Perry, who defends his TNT title against Shibata yesterday. And, you know, normally I hate the massive amount of no-sells, but Shibata just does it so well. And I thought Shibata had a really good showing last night. That may have been his best match in AEW last night. I thought he did a great job against Jack Perry. But your thoughts on Jack Perry winning Shibata, and, you know, what's up next for the scapegoat?
Shibata looked fantastic. I thought the finish was too subtle. When Shibata had him in the sleeper and they go down, nobody paid attention to the fact that Jack Perry, you know, raised his heels to get Shibata's shoulders on the mat.
Right.
Nobody called attention to that, and I think that's what led to some people being confused about the finish. So I don't know if that was the fault of Perry. Is that the fault of the ref? Is that the fault of the commentary team? I don't know. It was a great match. I get the feeling, and this kind of goes into Okada and the Bucks, that they're gonna ride this. When one of them loses the title, I think all of them are going to lose the title. So it could be we'll have one night where the elite become, you know, no more gold. So when does that happen? That's anybody's guess. But yeah, it was a good match with Shibata. I mean, Shibata just, you know, he was really good. But it's what you expect from Shibata. So
he's the wrestler.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal talent.
But you brought it up now, so I was going to talk about it after the Young Bucks match, that after we got through that one. But since you said it, the Elite are in an interesting position right now. Of course, that's, the Young Bucks and Jack Perry and Okada, tag team champions, Continental champion, TNT champion. We're supposed to be the real group of bad guys in AEW. That is now a mantle that is carried by the new Blackpool Combat Club. Do you see a conflict coming between the BCC and the Elite? Because these guys are not going to just sit around and kind of hang out. They're going to come after gold and trying to take over AEW. So do we get a really good battle between that group of guys?
That's a good question. I would suspect that, yes, BCC will come after the Elite eventually because, and of course we'll get to it with the main event, but Moxley has been saying that the AEW is broken. It's not the company that he came into. It needs to be fixed. And that's what they're setting out to do. That's what the Elite were trying to do, when they attacked Tony Khan. And I've said this before. It's like, okay, well, now hold on. Who's going to be the fixer of the company? Is it going to be BCC or is it going to be the Elite? Let's figure this out and then go there. I get the sense that BCC are going to go after everybody. Yeah, they're going to go after the Elite. They're going to go after good guys, bad guys. Doesn't matter, because I guess there is some sort of, this is bigger than us, whatever. This is not your company anymore. So I would think, yes, we will eventually see a face-off between the BCC and the Elite. I just don't know when.
Yeah, because really with the Elite, this BCC group is going to have them push down the card a little bit unless something changes. It's an interesting dynamic between these two groups. So I'm curious to see when they decide that they're going to butt heads.
Yeah.
Then we had the match for the international championship.
Well, now hold on. Let's not brush over the returns.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. I apologize.
Garcia comes out to help Shibata.
Thank you.
Then here comes MJF. He back from filming Happy Gilmore 2. He's facing off against Garcia and then starts pummeling him. And then here comes Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah. The dominoes were falling out there.
Now, and I'm thrilled to see Adam Cole back and cleared and everything. They've got to explain the whole thing with the Devil, Undisputed Kingdom, because remember last time we saw Adam Cole, he was the leader of the Undisputed Kingdom. Now I'm going to assume he's not. But they're going to have to explain that, whether they do it Wednesday on Dynamite or not, I don't know. But they've got to bridge that little gap of logic. That's going to be, they can pretty easily. They just got to do it.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting too because now Adam Cole and MJF have swapped roles between heel and babyface. So that's another issue for this whole thing. That why is this still going on? I mean, I kind of thought they were pushing that aside at Double or Nothing, but Tony wants that match, so I guess we're going to get it.
Yeah, I think that's what we will see. I'm not sure we will see it at World's End. I think that'll be one we save to Revolution. Because I think it's going to be Garcia and MJF first, or maybe Garcia goes after Jack Perry, and then. But I do think we will eventually see MJF versus Adam Cole at a pay-per-view in the near future.
Yeah, because we've still got Full Gear coming up in November, so don't forget about that one. A little Thanksgiving present for everybody. Okay, now we go to the international championship match. Takeshita and Ospreay and Ricochet. A wild match. And it was funny that I tweeted out before the match, I'd really like to see Takeshita win this match. I really would. I think he deserves it, and I think it would certainly be a nice twist for everybody. And lo and behold, he gets out of there with the title, thanks to a little help from Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis. And we have a new international champion. But the interesting part about this match is, once again, we saw a lot of the aerial stuff, a lot of the gymnastic stuff. And ironically, our friend The Undertaker did an interview on Booker T's Hall of Fame show. And this is what he said about the difference between about storytelling and moves and the importance of them in pro wrestling. And I don't want to get into the whole thing. He essentially, and it's a long quote. So he essentially said, look, storytelling's the priority. The guys are in a tough spot because they're so athletic, so they want to show that off and they want to try and do everything they can in the ring. But when it comes down to it, it's about telling a story. And once again, I was going through the X feeds and stuff, checking it out and seeing what everybody was saying about the match. And, a lot of people were saying, why are they doing this stuff? Why are Ricochet and Ospreay flying around all over the place? Just get down to it. And, we talked about this last week too, Stu, about, was this a wrestling match? And there's no doubt this was a pretty good match. But is The Undertaker right? Are they doing too much?
It is. It's hard to say. And I have all the respect in the world for Undertaker. Undertaker is an old school guy. He is totally old school. And there are those from that era, and I'm talking even before Undertaker, that would say that Ospreay and Ricochet were doing too much. That storytelling is the priority. And that is true to an extent. At the same time, I think today's fans, if you see Will Ospreay and Ricochet in the ring, you expect to see the flips and everything. Right. So
and the crowd was going nuts.
Yeah. So I think there's got to be a balance. You got to have the balance of showing off the athleticism while at the same time telling the story of the match. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was great. The Kyle Fletcher turn, I think, was expected. I actually felt like Takeshita was going to win the title. And that's what happened. I was a little surprised that Ospreay actually ate the pin, but with the interference and all that, okay, I can see that. Where all this goes from here, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch, because, does Will Ospreay want a rematch? Does he go in a different direction? Obviously, there are those that are going to be lining up to take on Takeshita. And we're going to see the Don Callis family, get involved in all that. So there's quite a bit of storytelling around this match, and even going forward from this match that can happen that could be very compelling.
Yeah, and Takeshita was a great dance partner for those guys last night too. I kind of got a laugh when they did a sequence where Ospreay and Ricochet did a sequence where they were flying all over the place. They landed, and then Takeshita just came in and clocked them both. That was great. Yeah. And I think that was kind of symbolic to some of the fans that don't necessarily like all the acrobatics to say, yeah, down you go, you goofballs. And Takeshita did a great job hanging with those guys the whole night. I'm happy for him, because he was starting to fade off a little bit, and he's just too good a wrestler to get pushed to the side. So a huge win for him last night. We'll see if maybe Ricochet comes after him. Ospreay's going to have some business with Fletcher, I would imagine, for a while. But, it definitely was one of the matches of the night. And I think it struck a good balance. So if you get a chance to watch that match, I'd highly recommend it, and see what you think. It was pretty incredible. So
yeah, I totally agree. It did strike a balance. I do agree. It's going to be Ospreay and Fletcher. In the coming weeks, does Ricochet go after Takeshita by himself? Does Ricochet go in a different direction? Like I said, again, there's going to be plenty of challengers for that international title around the waist of Takeshita, and good on AEW to take advantage of the success that Takeshita, easier for me to say, had in the G1. So it made total sense.
Yes, it did. All right, we are going to take another break. And by the way, I am watching the chat box. Don't worry when we're getting to some of your comments there. When they fit in, because I'm kind of seeing what everybody's saying. We'll make it all work out. But I do also want to remind everybody that if you need any work done with embroidery, t-shirts, promotional items, I've got a great guy for you, Mike from Off Grid Creations here in Las Vegas, but he can take care of anybody all across the planet. Just give him a call. It's all you got to do. 661-300-1115. That's Off Grid Creations, off-gridcreations.com. Once again, that phone number 661-300-1115. Tell him Mark Hoke sent you, and I'm going to guarantee you he's going to hook you up and take great care of you. So once again, it's off-gridcreations.com. All right, and when we roll it back, still going through the Wrestle Dream card. Oh, man, what about that ending? Oh, got some people talking, that's for sure. Stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more coming up on the Mark Hoke Show with Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in Austin. Follow him at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRCK. We'll be right back.
What better time than right now to make a new start with your finances? Mark Cordner of Golden Years Financial can tell you how. Tune in Saturdays at noon for Golden Years, a roadmap to navigate retirement, right here on 101.5.
If you need to sell your house, talk to Aaron Taylor. You want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy.
Dad, people say I've got some big shoes to fill.
Well, you do, kid. Look at these. You know what they say about big shoes.
Yeah. It means I've got a lot to live up to, all right? 30 years of helping sellers.
A whole bunch of
offering no interest cash advances, paying for repairs up front, and getting top dollar every time, and buying distressed properties.
Better recognized, kid. That's right. But don't worry. We're doing it together, me and you, building on that legacy and ensuring that every client gets the best deal possible.
So if you're even considering buying or selling a home in any price range,
what's the number?
Give us a call. 702-310-6683 or visit therealestateguyLV.com for details.
Jacob, I'm building the path.
Dad, I'm lighting the way. Together,
we are the real estate guys, helping you move forward one home at a time.
eXp Realty, license number 3886.
Talk to Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy.
This game ain't blackjack. It's a lot faster. 200 miles per hour faster. NASCAR's best return to Las Vegas for the South Point 400 race weekend, October 18th through the 20th. Drivers go door to door in an all-out battle for a playoff victory and a shot to win the NASCAR championship. Tell your friends, tell your family. Don't miss the fastest party in town, October 18th through the 20th. Tickets at lvms.com or call 800-644-4444. It's NASCAR in Vegas.
Get the yard of your dreams this fall with Moon Valley Nurseries. They do it all so you can relax and enjoy. It's just that simple. Heading off to fall means nice weather, backyard games, trees changing color, and with over 350,000 species of plants, shrubs, and trees at Moon Valley Nurseries, you just leave the rest of the work to them. Designed, delivered, planted, guaranteed. That's the Moon Valley's Nurseries difference. Visit moonvalleynurseries.com for more info. That's moonvalleynurseries.com.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. Certainly one of the really important things in my life are our children and our grandchildren. I am essentially a writer. I've been involved in communications in the media. I've been an avid fly fisherman for at least 40 or more years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly, have a crisper ability to remember and think through things. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Robert Strickler is a content contributor for Prevagen and real user, based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Unsafe sleep conditions cause serious injury and even death to infants. Never sleep with your baby on a sofa, in a chair, or in an adult bed. Protect the baby you love from becoming a tragic statistic. The only safe place for your baby to sleep is alone, on its back, in a crib, and in your room. For more information, visit cribsforkids.org. That's cribsforkids.org. This message is sponsored by the Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Las Vegas Book Festival returns to downtown Las Vegas from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on October 19th, featuring John Waters, hot topic panels, and books. Visit LasVegasBookFestival.com.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it, Hokamaniacs. Oh, man. I'm fighting a little bit of lack of sleep last night. I'm not going to say why, though. I told Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
These things go late, and then if you stay up for the media scrum, man, yeah, it's a late night. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, if now I did not stay up for the media scrum just because, whatever, but I think it probably went till at least 1 a.m. Central, which would be 11 p.m. there.
Yeah,
that's late. That's past my bedtime.
Oh, come on, Stu. You're an all-night kind of guy. That's what the ladies are telling me down in Austin.
Please. 10, 20 years ago, sure. At 56 years old, no.
Come on, Stu. I'm 55. Let's go, man.
No.
Let's go. I'm bringing out next time you're out to Vegas. We're gonna paint the town red all night.
No, thank you.
No, all right, fair enough.
No. Paint it page.
All right, best in pro wrestling news here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. By the way, don't forget to join us on Thursday nights online on YouTube, X, and Facebook, starting around 8:15-ish Pacific time. We're having some fun with that. We had our time machine tournament. Stu Meyer crowned our first ever champion, by the way. That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get the hang of it. Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. So it was pretty cool. I won't say who it was. Go look, and I'll have the clips up as soon as I can. I haven't had time to do any editing yet on that. All right. We get to the hologram Beast Mortos, best of 3 falls. Like I said, could have been on Dynamite, but a decent, good showing for both guys. But I don't know. I just wasn't that. I don't know. Hologram just doesn't do it for me.
Me neither. I mean, it's fun, I guess, and everything. And look, it was a lucha match. Especially here, we see a lot of lucha libre since we're so close to Mexico. But yeah, this was a Dynamite match.
Yeah, but both two talented wrestlers. But it's like when you have Will Ospreay and Ricochet, and then you have Hologram. It's kind of like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it did suffer from being afterwards after the triple threat.
Yeah, it didn't help because I was just sitting there like I just watched Ospreay and Ricochet fly all over the place, and we're doing it again, but not quite as crisply. So, yeah.
What did you think of the whole Swerve Strickland and MVP and Shelton Benjamin? That was right before it.
Yeah, we had the Swerve Strickland interview. Sticking with Prince Nana, he is what Swerve decided to do, and Shelton Benjamin and Swerve got into a little bit. No Bobby Lashley. So I'm a little surprised about Lashley not coming out, but we'll see when Lashley finally makes his appearance. It was all right. It was all right. Like I said, I was just shocked we didn't get Bobby Lashley.
I think I get, and I get that, I was watching a couple of the recap videos. Our good friend Simon Miller from What Culture Wrestling, he does, of course, a recap. And he said something that made total sense. You had the returns with MJF and Adam Cole earlier. So maybe they're saving Bobby Lashley for Dynamite, maybe, to try to pop that rating a bit. So I guess in that sense, it kind of makes sense, but still, it felt like, yeah, that was the spot to bring out Bobby Lashley, and we officially get Hurt Syndicate or whatever they're going to call it. So, but it was a nice interaction. Yeah, Swerve sticking with Prince Nana. I get Nana, plugging his coffee at the very beginning. It's Prince Nana, sure. I also kind of chuckled at Swerve giving Prince Nana a little bit of business for selling pot to kids.
That was bad.
That is bad, but still, I am glad that Swerve is sticking with Nana, at least for now. And I think we will set up this whole rivalry between the two entities.
Yeah. There's just one part of me though that I wish that Swerve wasn't involved with those guys yet. I don't know. I just feel like Swerve should be hovering around the world championship picture, and he's going to get derailed a little bit by this. So that's just me. I don't know. Me, I'm being a little picky on that. Darby Allin knocks off Brody King. Darby gets the hell beat out of him for a long time, and then does some pretty cool spots. That coffin drop to Brody on the stairs didn't look like it felt real good, but Darby Allin gets the victory last night over Brody King, and then we saw him later in the night. Fun match, but once again, I don't know if we needed this on the pay-per-view.
Agreed.
It was for the Washington fans.
It was, both guys, huge stars on the independent scene on the West Coast. Interesting that we saw a handshake at the end between Darby and Brody. Does that, delve into something else or what? Brody King, I guess he's still with the House of Black. Where's the House of Black, by the way? Or where are they? We didn't see Malachi, didn't see Buddy. Is Julia Hart coming back? Brody King says she is. We'll see. It was a fun match if you just want to see just all out brutality.
Oh.
But again, yeah, this was one that could have been saved for Dynamite.
Yeah, Darby talked to me about his recovery routine on the show a while back, and I just don't know how he does it. That man just takes a beating and somehow comes back and he's fine. It's incredible. So, yeah, nice. So good win for Darby Allin last night. And we're actually getting close to the end of the hour here, Stu. And I wanted to give you a chance real quick. I got a couple seconds. Tell everybody about your show for the first hour. So, people, if they can't stick around, don't hear about it.
Yeah. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Podcast episodes drop midweek. Great wrestling insight from great wrestling insiders. No, I don't think I'll be doing a show this week, only because I'll be out of town on work, but it is up there. I'm going to try to do something. I'll be back the following week, but yeah, we have a good time. It's just, it's recapping everything and giving your, it is Sports Guys. So we do, give you a little sports talk as well.
All right, so make sure you guys check that out and follow Stu at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRCK. And when we come back, we still got a few matches on the Wrestle Dream card, including, of course, that incredible finish to the night with Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson. We've got a new world champ and maybe a new world beater, too. So stick around, everybody. Follow us on Twitter or X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. Subscribe to us on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and check out markhokeshow.com for all the information about the show and our sponsors too. They'd certainly appreciate it. Stick around, everybody. We got another hour to go on The Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We're back for hour number 2 in just a little bit. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Place a first touchdown scorer wager today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. Nevada only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. MGMResorts.com/GameSense.
Members, it's here. Milo's Rewards Week deals for members only are up for grabs. Home decor, holiday tools, you name it, it's for less. Get up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items, including select power tools, tool storage, and ladders. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today and get instant access to Milo's Rewards Week deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offer valid 10/10 through 10/16. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Join the Vegas Chamber today. Being a member of the Vegas Chamber sends a powerful message of credibility and that your business is connected to a larger community of organizations dedicated to ensuring Nevada is a great place to live, work, and do business. Joining the Vegas Chamber and becoming part of the largest business organization in Nevada has never been easier. Grow your business within your budget. Visit vegaschamber.com and join today. Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K260HCS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Almost Election Day. I'm Ted Lindner, Fox News. Just over 3 weeks out now from the big day, and Vice President Kamala Harris and Tim Walz set to spend the next few days aggressively campaigning in a few key battleground states. Comes as the parties reportedly growing more concerned about their blue wall strongholds. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more.
For the Wall Street Journal, some Democrats in Michigan are especially worried that Harris is not drawing working class voters as effectively as former President Donald Trump. They reportedly want Harris to deliver a sharper economic message. So this week, Harris and Tim Walz are hitting blue wall states. Harris is heading to Pennsylvania and Michigan twice this week. She's also heading to Wisconsin and Georgia. Harris will make a direct appeal to Black men at some of her stops. Her outreach includes a sit down with radio host Charlemagne the God in Detroit. Walz, meantime, is trying to win over rural voters. He embarked on a pheasant hunt yesterday. It's part of their new program called Hunters and Anglers for Harris and Walz. Walz and Harris are leaning into the fact that they too are gun owners.
And while emphasizing her gun ownership, Vice President Harris has advocated reinstating the assault weapons ban of the Clinton administration. Former President Trump rallying yesterday in Coachella, California. An arrest made after two men posed as fake utility workers before allegedly killing a 72-year-old man inside his Detroit area home. Doorbell footage shows the suspects knocking on the victim's door, saying they were energy workers and, quote, checking for gas leaks. One of the suspects currently in police custody, another still on the loose. And mask mandates coming back in San Francisco. And several Bay Area counties are now requiring healthcare workers to wear masks in hospitals, nursing facilities, and other healthcare areas. The mandates are set to go into effect on November 1st, and they will go until March or April of 2025. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network, the Fox News Rundown, a contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Your daily dose of news twice a day, going far beyond the headlines, tapping into the massive reporting resources of Fox News to provide a full picture of the news of the day.
I'm Dana Perino.
I'm Brett Baer.
I'm Maria Bartiromo.
I'm Brian Kilmeade, and this is the Fox News Rundown.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
Get your daily dose of news with a Fox News Rundown. A contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Going far beyond the headlines. Tomorrow morning at 5 on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
God, that first hour was so amazing. We're going to do it again. I just took over the airwaves on KDAWN and said, to hell with it. It's Hokamania time. Nah, I'm actually programmed in here. It's all good. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Mark Hoke on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We're very happy to have you joining us here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, streaming on the Odyssey app. And of course, we're also out there, YouTube, Facebook, and X at the Mark Hoke Show. Just check us out and, get in this chat box. We got some good points lined up here, and we're going to get to them in just a little bit. So you guys in the chat, be patient. Promise we're getting to you, because a lot of this was talking about stuff that happened at the end or later on, maybe, including no Shane McMahon yet, but we'll get into that a little bit. And I've got Stu Myrick along for the ride from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Stu, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Bears up 35-10 midway through the fourth quarter on the Jaguars.
Oh, man.
Trevor Lawrence 22-32 for, I think he said 222.
Doug Peterson getting fired. It's over.
I mean, hey, Jets already fired their head coach. Why not?
Yeah. Maybe Robert Saleh could go down and help the Jags out with the defense a little bit. We'll do a little swap. That'd be fun.
But
yeah, so of course, big NFL day, crazy college football yesterday. Well, we got to keep talking wrestling as we're going through the Wrestle Dream card. We've got a couple matches to go. Of course, some big impact things happening up there at Tacoma, but the Young Bucks taking on Private Party. Of course, this was the big revenge match from 5 years ago when Private Party upset them in the AEW World Tag Team Tournament. And crowd was kind of blah on this for a while, and then they started getting into it as Private Party got closer and closer to winning the championships. Isaiah Cassidy puts on a great show, but the Young Bucks do survive. They remain the AEW Tag Team Champions. And apparently there was a lot of internal discussions on whether Private Party should win this match before it happened. and some people were saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's put the belts on Private Party," but they did not pull the trigger last night. So, Stu, let me ask you about that first. Is this the right decision?
I'll be honest, it felt like, so you had the intros, and they played that video with Amazing Red trying to pump up Private Party, so it kind of led you to believe that Private Party may be winning the titles. And it was a really good match. I don't want to say it feels like the Bucks have held the titles too long, because of what I said earlier about, I think it's going to be a matter of the Elite lose all their titles at once. But at the same time, it does feel like maybe they could have pulled the trigger last night. So I'm kind of split on that one.
I am too. And one thing that really struck me last night, and once again, I love going through social media and checking out what reactions and people are giving. And a lot of people are like, "Oh man, why didn't Private Party win?" And clearly there's something else coming. Maybe it's just they're gonna tease it down the road, because they had Isaiah Cassidy just collapsed in the ring crying that they lost, and and he really did a great job. But on the Bucks side, a couple of comments that I saw said typical Bucks match, and you hate to hear that. You want to hear, hey, everybody had a great match, it was a lot of fun, but I don't know, is the Bucks act the way they're doing it right now, is it getting stale?
I would say yes. We've seen what, 2 title defenses since the Bucks won the titles. Am I right?
Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3. Yeah,
I mean, they have not been on very often. They've not defended those titles very often. And again, and I go back to what we were talking about with the Elite versus BCC. Look, I get that Matt and Nick are, they get very meta when it comes to their roles. And I think I heard at one time they were playing into the fact that the fans were tired of them being, their usual selves. And that's why they decided to go into this direction. I don't think that was the answer, though. I'll be honest. It's not. And maybe it's just because I've gotten to know them. It doesn't feel legitimate.
It feels like they've lost their intensity. A little bit.
Even that. I don't think it's even that. I think it's just simple fact that what we see of the Jacksons right now is not. It's not. It's they're playing a role, but they don't believe in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they've just kind of slowed themselves down. They're obnoxious in a different way. It's more snotty. And I don't know if people are liking that. By the way, Bionic Scoop in the chat box said, boy, did they perfectly set up the win for Private Party. I hope Full Gear. So maybe we're going to get that rematch. It'll be interesting to see what the fan reaction is going to be in the next couple of days. We'll see if Private Party gets another shot at this. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. I don't know. There's just a weird feeling around the Bucks to me.
Well, and it's the same thing with Okada. Look, I get Okada probably wanted, I think, if you believe the reports, he wanted to be a heel after being the lead babyface for so long in New Japan. But the problem is, every time they hit his music, the crowd cheers.
Yep.
They want to cheer him. It's like there are some guys that are just natural baby faces. They're not going to get booed. I think all the way back to when the Road Warriors turned on Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. The Road Warriors' heels did not work, and they turned them right back. I think the same thing is happening with Okada. And I think to a small extent, same thing with the Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting.
That's just me. My opinion, but it's I've seen this before.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see where the Bucks go from here because I'm sure that they, like I said, as the match went on, the crowd got into it, but at the beginning it was kind of like, and so we'll find out what happens with Nick and Matt. By the way, did you feel like Nick is starting to look like Randy Savage? Did you notice that in his face?
Well, he does the mannerisms. He does the mannerisms of Randy Savage.
He's getting the forehead crinkle a little bit, and I think he looks
a little
like
bit.
He's got the beard and the hair. I mean, he's starting to look like Randy Savage. If you go back and watch the match and do some pauses on it, I promise you'll see it.
Yeah.
Next last match of the day, Mark Briscoe defends the Ring of Honor World Championship against Chris Jericho. Pretty emotional match. Of course, Jericho had insulted Mark about his brother right before this thing happened, and Mark took offense to that, and then tried to beat him with the J Driller, and that didn't go over well with Mark, and Briscoe gets a pretty big win for over Chris Jericho here.
Yeah, and again, I am firmly in the camp of do not have Ring of Honor title matches on AEW pay-per-views, but given this match, it was good. Mark doesn't have a bad match.
No,
he is such a professional. He's so good. I do, I am looking forward to see who he will defend. I would assume he's going to defend that title at Final Battle, which is a Ring of Honor pay-per-view or whatever you want to call it. I assume he will defend that title there. I don't know against who. It will be interesting. Well, and I say I don't know. A name just popped up because of what we will talk about with the main event. I could see Claudio going after that title again, and then now BCC have both world titles.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be a hell of a match too, and a good Ring of Honor throwback. All right, so let's get to this main event. So Bryan Danielson defending the AEW World Title against Jon Moxley. If Danielson loses, he is done as a full-time wrestler. He's battling it out in his home area. A brutal match. And man, knowing what Bryan's going through right now, because if you don't know, his neck is legitimately injured. He's got to have surgery on it. He's having nerve issues, getting tingling in one of his arms. I mean, he's in really bad shape right now. And he just took shot after shot after shot after shot to his neck and his upper spine. And it just, as aside from everything else that happened, I just have so much respect for him getting through that match. I mean, what an incredible performance by Bryan Danielson. But eventually Moxley gets through, wins the match. And before we get to the attack at the end, Stu, that silence that happened when Moxley won it, because he won it on a submission. The crowd just went, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because they were in shock. And I'm going to tell you that it reminded me of when the Undertaker's streak was ended.
Yeah.
That came to mind when I saw that crowd reaction because they were just stunned that Bryan lost that match. Were you surprised at how quiet that crowd went? That was crazy.
I was a little surprised. It doesn't look it was there in Tacoma. You're just down the road from Aberdeen. It's Bryan's home state. I think it's kind of funny. I'm pretty sure that crowd really thought Bryan would survive and carry on. I think they may have been the only ones because I think everybody was, as soon as they booked Moxley, it was like, okay, Moxley's winning because not only because it's Moxley, but they also got to still got to carry on this whole whatever. So yeah, I was a little surprised. It wasn't total surprise. It was fun to see a kind of a shock moment like that. And then everything that happened afterwards, and we're going to get into it. I mean, I've got my thoughts.
Yeah. Me too. So after the match is over, they had Moxley kind of bow down to Danielson, showing respect. And then the BCC hits the ring, and they are absolutely brutalizing Bryan Danielson. Wheeler Yuta and Darby Allin come out to try to make the save, but Wheeler then turns on Darby. They duct tape Darby's arm to the rope so he cannot help. So Darby's helpless in the ring watching this all go down. And Wheeler Yuta then pull out the plastic bag again, give it to Yuta, who then does the suffocation thing on Bryan Danielson one more time. And I'll tell you what happened on my end where I was watching, is I went to Dave & Buster's, and a nice plug for them. They were terrific last night, by the way. The one down in Henderson, by the way, wasn't the one in Summerlin. So just so you know, terrific staff down there in Henderson.
You mean you weren't at the one off Mopac here in Austin?
No.
Okay.
No. We are a Las Vegas show still.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
But my daughter was with me. She's 15. And I had told her about what happened the last time around when Bryan took the bag. And she said, after everything you said to me, I can't believe you did that again. I can't believe they did that again. You know, why did they have to do that? And she was just watching the beatdown and everything else. She's like, man, that was, I don't know. And that's just somebody who's not a huge wrestling fan, but, you know, teenager, and said, man, that was a lot. And a lot of reaction has come out that said it was too much. But I'm going to slightly disagree. I don't think they needed to do the suffocation thing again, but I understand it. I understand what happened last night, because what they did was they made this group some of the biggest heels maybe in pro wrestling history at this point. You just tore Bryan Danielson apart, and after you got done, you did it more, and you sent him out on a stretcher in his hometown and ended his career. Was it too much, Stu? Or was it just right? Or what do you think?
So, look, before I get into that, let's understand. Bryan wanted to go out like this. This was Bryan's idea, and probably a little bit of Mox. So I get that. I was really uncomfortable with the suffocation thing at All Out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was unnecessary. And I go back to the old school thinking of, if you're going to do a move, there needs to be a purpose, even if it's post-match attack. You follow the suffocation thing this time with Pillmanizing Bryan's neck.
Yeah.
So again, I ask, if you were going to Pillmanize his neck, why do the suffocation? I get it. I get that Bryan, this was the way Bryan wanted to go out, and, you know, I'm glad he got what he wanted. I'm just not comfortable with it. I mean, and that's me. Hey, there are those that loved it. There are those that hate it. That's, you know, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm giving you my view, and my view is the suffocation thing was unnecessary, especially if you're going to follow up with the Pillmanizing of the neck.
Yeah. And I did forget to mention, I apologize. Yeah, that Claudio put a chair around Danielson's neck after that was over and did the old concerto Pillmanizing spot.
Yeah.
And, you know, off goes Danielson on a stretcher. It was, like I said, I wasn't thrilled with the suffocation spot. You know, but like I said, I think now you have established those guys as a brutal group that, you know, that one, the people are going to remember this one forever.
Yeah.
And in terms of a story, now that group has told the locker room, don't mess with us.
Yeah. They'll stop at nothing.
Don't mess with us, because we will do anything we want to you. And so in storyline, I get it. But like I said, tough visual to deal with on that. I mean, and I was starting to think last night after I was driving home about, what moments that kind of paralleled to me in pro wrestling history. And I went back to the Ernie Ladd Ox Baker riot, the Horseman's attack on Dusty Rhodes at the Omni that almost got them killed when they were trying to get back to the locker room. Hogan turning with the NWO. I mean, those, that's kind of where I put this moment. And, you can say what you think, how it got there, but these guys did something that people are never going to forget. And then you add in the fact that this is Brian's last full-time match in all probability. I mean, man, it's a massive amount of drama there. So
yeah, it was. So, I mean, Tony Khan didn't even do the media scrum. He, the storyline is he went to the hospital. So you had Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness doing the post-show media scrum. The other thing that they mentioned it. So Bryce Remsburg, who I love to death. I think Bryce is one of the best referees out there. He's a fantastic guy. He's a wonderful friend. So Bryce he is conflicted. After the match, he is conflicted with handing the title to Moxley.
Yeah.
But he does eventually. As soon as he does, Pac's got this black gym bag, and he puts the belt in that black gym bag. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like Orange Cassidy carrying the backpack with the international title in it. This is something else, and I would assume we will see what that means, hopefully this week on Dynamite. But that was an interesting twist that, made me think, okay, I want to see what's happening. As far as the BCC itself, I think, and forgive me, I get it. We, comparing AEW and WWE, that's fine. People have problems with it. But I think Tony Khan is wanting to set up the BCC kind of like what we are seeing with Solo Sikoa and the bloodline, the new bloodline. Ruthless, no morals, stop at nothing, that type of thing. Now we haven't seen Solo Sikoa trying to suffocate Roman Reigns yet. I say yet. I don't think WWE will let that happen. But I get that, and that's fine. That's fine. They want to set up this monster heel faction because they don't have one right now. Not the Elite, not House of Black. The Premier Athletes. No, not even close. They want this monster heel faction that, and I get it. Okay, if this was 20, 30 years ago, yes, they would get booed out of the building. Every building they come into. Nowadays, there are people that will cheer them because they're doing that, which, again, old school, I don't get, but nevertheless.
Yeah, and it was really interesting, too, that the crowd tried to start doing a thank you, Brian chant, and it went nowhere. Did you notice that last night?
I did notice that, and that was because they kept just brutalizing him. That was the thing. There was no, you didn't have Bryan Danielson make the curtain call, marking the end of his full-time in-ring career. And I think that was on purpose. They wanted this to be such a heavy, shocking moment. And Brian didn't want a curtain call. He wanted to go out on a stretcher. And again, kind of like what you said, this is something they're going to remember. And so now every time they see Mox and Claudio and Pac and Marina Shafir and now Wheeler Yuta, hopefully they get booed out of the building.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very interesting moment, and I'm running a little long break, but I do want to get a couple comments in here real quick that were in the chat box. Jesse Hyde said, so AEW did not get their dream of seeing McMahon in AEW as in Shane McMahon, but there are rumors Sammy Callahan could be behind the new BCC, aka Capital Murder Combat Club. That's a pretty interesting
talk because they trademarked it was the name of the tag team that John Moxley and Sammy Callahan were, I guess, on the indies. So there is speculation. Sammy Callahan right now does not have a contract. We last saw him in TNA. Could he be joining Mox in AEW? Which would make for very interesting viewing. I will give it that. I'm a huge Sammy Callahan fan. There's the speculation. Even if it's a short-term contract, why not? Let's have a little more chaos.
Yeah, I mean, there is somebody behind this. There's another layer to this whole thing, and we're gonna see where it ends up. But right now, I got to get a break because if I don't, I'm just gonna lose my mind, and we're gonna have a really short segment. So let's do a little bit more here on the Mark Hoke Show, and don't forget, guys. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, but subscribe to us on YouTube. That would bring so much joy to my heart. I promise you. Just go to The Mark Hoke Show and get in that chat box. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what happened last night. And we're going to get into some other topics too with WWE and so on. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to listen to The Dennis Bono Show with great music, fun, and artists appearing in Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, every Sunday, 6 p.m. on 101.5 FM.
The Las Vegas Book Festival returns to downtown Las Vegas from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on October 19th, featuring John Waters, hot topic panels, and books. Visit LasVegasBookFestival.com.
Hi, it's Sherry Harris, owner of LifeSource Water. Breaking up is hard, but ditching your old salt-based water softener? Easy. Why stay in a toxic relationship with heavy salt bags and frequent maintenance? With LifeSource, it's just clean, delicious water without any hassle. Plus, our system reduces scale buildup and leaves your skin glowing and hair shining. So break up with salt today. Call 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource. Taste and feel the difference.
Warranty limitations apply.
Lords and ladies, be not shy. Come and give our fair a try. Whether it's to eat or to drink in the suite, our festival cannot be beat. Clark County Parks and Recreation presents the 30th annual Age of Chivalry Renaissance Festival today at Sunset Park. Experience an exciting day of jousting, steel tournaments, feasting, shopping, music, merriment, and more. Sponsored by Clark County, Finley Chevrolet, Four Peaks Brewing Company, CW Las Vegas, My LV TV, and News 3 Las Vegas. Tickets and free shuttle schedule available at lvrenfair.com or text royalty to 888-111 for the free mobile app download.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of The Pen, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, The Pen is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards, Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon.
You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important. You can help improve the health of all mothers and babies in Nevada by completing a pregnancy risk assessment monitoring system survey about your recent pregnancy. Also known as PRAMS, the survey is from the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The survey asks new moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health of mothers and babies in Nevada. If you receive a PRAMS survey, please share your story. Learn more at nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. That's nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. This message, sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Dreaming of a relaxing retirement but need the roadmap to get there? The Asset Preservation Hour with Stuart Willis can help you build the path. Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10 a.m. here on 101.5. Start planning today. Visit apsitaxes.com.
20,000 for your vision. R&R Partners is calling all Nevada high school students under 18 to submit PSA ideas for a chance to have it professionally made and 20,000 awarded to the nonprofit they partner with. Entries are open until October 24th. To learn more, go to youngvisionaries.rrpartners.com.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And let's get back to it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. My good pal, Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, joining me in the house here. Having an awesome time breaking down Wrestle Dream. Now, I got one more thing I want to hit on Wrestle Dream before we get into some other news. Who's next? Who's actually going to go after Moxley? Because, and I saw a great tweet, by the way. Jeremy Lambert, our good friend from Fightful.com, said, "You thought last week was upsetting. Wait until Darby dethrones Mox and Christian Cage cashes in his contract." And Matt Black from WrestleZone said, "Been dreading this for weeks. LOL." Now, we also had some other people come into the mix. MJF last night saying, "I warned you about Dictator Mox." Adam Cole is now back, among many other people out there. Stu, I know they were talking Darby, but man, there are a lot of possibilities on this one.
There are a lot of possibilities. I say you keep MJF and Adam Cole away from the world title picture for a while. Man, the scenario with Darby winning and then Christian cashing in, that would be, oh my God, that would be nuclear. That's not going to happen for a while though.
Yeah,
like Mox is going to hold on to this title for a while. So it may be. I could see this lasting. I could see this lasting until All In comes here, or just north of here in Arlington. I could see him holding the title until All In at Globe Life Field, at least.
At least I agree with you, because you're certainly not going to do all this build and all this drama and then have Mox drop the title in a month,
no,
or anything like that, like Full Gear or World's End. I couldn't see it.
Which then it kind of brings up the question: okay, then what happens? Christian Cage's. I mean, is there an expiration date on that contract, or is it kind of like the Royal Rumble or the Money in the Bank, where it lasts a year, or is it just he's just got it in his pocket? You know, there's a part. I mean, because I think they will eventually put the title on Christian Cage, but again, you're not going to have it happen anytime soon. So
no, and one of the problems that has come up now for Christian Cage as well is this sickness issue with Luchasaurus getting pneumonia in his lungs, and he may not even be able to wrestle again. It's that serious.
Mm-hmm.
So now with Christian's group, you lose the muscle. So Christian would have to probably find somebody else to kind of fill in that role, because you're not taking on those guys with Nick Wayne. I mean, that's not happening.
Wardlow? Now, I think Wardlow, did I hear right? He's nursing an injury?
Yeah, apparently he's out with a knee now. That got revealed a couple weeks ago.
He seems like a good fit. I don't, I mean, that's the first name that comes to my mind, but yeah, you got to get him healthy first. But yeah, so I don't know.
Ooh, Hobbs.
I keep hearing Powerhouse Hobbs linking up with MVP. I could see Hobbs doing it, but I think I don't know.
They may have to pull an audible with Luchasaurus out, because maybe there was a possibility they were going to put the Christians the patriarchy up against those guys. So pretty,
and again, but that's heel versus heel, which look, maybe some people love that. I don't. I think it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I just want to see both of them beat the snot out of each other. You know, why, if you put a heel versus heel, why should I care?
Yeah. By the way, Bionic Scoop in the chat box, phenomenal photographer. If you haven't checked him out, catch him on X, and he will do your event. He's amazing. Says, feel for Luchasaurus. I had double pneumonia, and it literally killed me. I'd rather see him healthy and happy, and I agree with that. I will throw one other name out, and I've seen this discussed, and Jesse Hyde had it in the chat box. Kenny Omega teased something for a joint show in Tokyo Dome. If Kenny's healthy, is Kenny the savior of AEW? I don't know. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but I want Kenny to get healthy first. And it
Right.
looks like we've seen the training pictures, him and Kota Ibushi. That's fine. Kenny Omega at Wrestle Dynasty in January. That could be interesting. If for no other reason you're doing it in Japan, where Kenny Omega just ruled.
Kenny's an MVP.
I think when Kenny comes back, we're going to see him and Kota, the Golden Lovers, together again. And then maybe down the road, maybe Kenny as a singles wrestler.
Yeah. So and hopefully Kenny's doing well. And I know our good friend Matt Black from WrestleZone announced he has diverticulitis too. So he's trying to get through that, and we want to wish Matty all the best. But hopefully Kenny will be back safe and healthy. And same thing for Luchasaurus, man, guys. Everybody, wrestlers are so used to pushing through that pain, but man, you got to take care of yourself first.
Absolutely.
There's no life, there's no career if you don't. So a lot of speculation, man. More questions than answers coming out of this Wrestle Dream. We'll see what happens in AEW. I want to get into some Rock rumors that hit. There was a rumor going around. Dave Meltzer apparently reported this, that The Rock is going to be unavailable for WrestleMania. And The Rock just responded saying, don't believe everything you hear, in not such a nice way. But Stu, I want to throw this out to you, because the situation with Dwayne Johnson is very volatile when you think about it. No, he's an actor first. If he gets offered a role, then somebody's going to pay him, $20 million to do a movie or something like that. I don't think he's going to turn it down for WrestleMania 41. Maybe he would, but the problem with having Dwayne so involved in this still is that you never know when that call's going to come, that something's going to come up and he's going to get pulled out. And, it interrupted some stuff going on with the bloodline, and God forbid something else comes up here too. Now, if Dwayne is saying, look, I'm in, don't buy it, that's another thing. But, it just bothers me a little bit that if you're putting putting the chips in the basket for Dwayne Johnson, you are taking that risk.
You are, but you would think, okay, first of all, Dwayne controls his schedule. Nobody, it's not movies, it's not WWE. Dwayne controls his schedule. So if there are plans to have him at WrestleMania 41, whether it's against Roman, whether it's Roman and Cody, whatever, that date's probably firmed. And I get he is incredibly successful in Hollywood. It would have to be a monumental role. We're talking Oscar worthy for him to not be available. So I get that.
So where did this report come from for Dave? I'm curious.
I don't know. And look, this kind of speaks to guys like Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp. There are those and look, internet, the X community, Twitter community, whatever, it's a wonderful tool, but it can be so toxic. And there are people that just it's hilarious how much hate they get. I compare it to everybody that hates the commentary teams on the NFL. It's like, people, why are you wasting your energy with this? Is your life so boring that this is the only thing that gives you some reason to wake up? Or what? Look, these guys are putting out stuff. It's their opinion. If you don't like it, don't read it. If you don't like something on TV, you turn the channel.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Where did Dave get this, thing that Rock may not be available? I don't know. I mean, he's got his sources. But again, as I said, Dwayne controls his schedule. If he says he's going to be at WrestleMania 41, he's probably going to be at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with The Rock. But, it's funny you brought that media thing up, too, because I saw some people online trashing everybody up at Wrestle Dream, and I was up there last year. Fortunately, didn't get there this year. Was in the scrum. But, everybody's doing their best in there, and not everybody's got a journalism degree or has studied journalism. At least I did. So, I've got a pretty good idea of how to handle things, even though interviewing wrestlers can be very difficult. Especially in those scrums, because you don't have a lot of time to prepare. You don't know who they're bringing out, and you don't know if they're going to be in character or if they're going to be their regular selves. So, before people get out there and start trashing everybody that's doing the scrums, man, realize that it's not easy. But at the same time, if you're in the scrum, you got to be ready to have a few questions ready to fire. But
look,
yeah, that was tough. It was hard seeing some of the comments I heard last night.
It is doing wrestling press conferences totally different. I have done numerous press conferences in sports, Super Bowl press conferences, Dallas Cowboys, F1, you name it. It is a totally different animal. And you're right. There are those in the wrestling media who are not trained or are not versed in journalism. You went through journalism. I learned on the job. I learned from some of the best in the business. There are those that cover wrestling that are simply wrestling fans that know how to do a podcast. Simple as that. So, yeah. And also understand these wrestling press conferences, you're not going to get some sort of groundbreaking breaking news type, big story. Look, these are it's part of the show. Yes, it's after the show, but it's still part of the show.
Yeah, we're involuntarily, voluntarily, I should say, but we're unwittingly a part of the show. We really are.
Exactly. So take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah, please. Come on. Take it easy, guys. I won't say some of the people I saw doing that, but
it's pro wrestling. Have fun with it.
Absolutely. All right. So we have to get our one more break in here to wrap this up. But I want to remind everybody, if you're going to be doing some traveling, like if you're coming to WrestleMania, as an example, you might want to book your hotel rooms through thetravelshark.com and go to thetravelshark.com /Mark Hoke. It's powered by Priceline. And all those hidden hotels that you have sitting around when you go to some of these sites and you don't know where you're booking. Well, you can get that employee pricing at thetravelshark.com. It's an amazing site. I'm telling you, and it covers the world. You've got everything that you need. So you're going to save a ton of money on all your travel costs. So if you're a wrestler, for example, and you're going all over the place, you need to have save a little bit of that money, man. So just go to thetravelshark.com /Hoke Show. So that way I get my hokey points and everybody's happy. So once again, it's thetravelshark.com /Hoke Show. Let's take that final break. And when we come back, I forgot about something last week. Shame on me.
Shame on you.
And the person that I forgot about could absolutely rip my head off. So I'm going to make sure that I get that in when we return. Stick around. We'll be back with more of the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The Talk of Las Vegas. We'll be right back.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off-Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. Or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.
Come for the treats, stay for the winning. With more free play giveaways and more bingo jackpots this October at Jerry's Nugget Casino. Join Hot Seats every Sunday, Monday, and Friday for instant free play. Every session, check out the second chance bingo jackpots. Winner, winner, stay for dinner. Delight in Jerry's $16.89 steak and shrimp meal. Savory steak, succulent shrimp, plus all the sides. Served every day 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. This October, get more treats at Jerry's Nugget Casino.
Jerry's Nugget Casino. Your kind of place.
Personal injury law has been the same for a long time. Big egos, greed, and sleazy schemes. Big and loud doesn't always mean right. And the conventional mold doesn't define success. Goodbye, false quick buck promises. We've had enough. Welcome to Sam and Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, where things are done the right way. With integrity, experience, and authenticity, we're champions for the underdog. Life happens, and when you need help, you deserve a team without hidden agendas. A team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. So if you've been hurt in a crash, call Sam and Ash, 702-303-0333. Sam and Ash, because you deserve what's right.
Save the date for the Fall Aging Wellness Expo for active adults at the M Resort in Henderson, Saturday, October 19th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The expo showcases health screenings, exhibits, entertainment, exercise demos, speakers, and more. The Aging Wellness Expo is presented by Optum and powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Admission is free and complimentary valet parking available. Visit agingwellnessexpo.com for more information.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmitt Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon.
You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
That's right. I'm willing to roll the dice one more time here on The Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Fortunately, Stu Myrick is by my side from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Follow him at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRCK, and check out everything he's got going on as well. Because if you don't, it'll help your life, I think. Would you agree, Stu?
Yes, it would help your life. Absolutely.
Yeah, so take a look at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Now, I got to get this thing in before I talk about anything else, because I don't want Hammerstone to kill me. I can't have Hammerstone kill me. I teased this last week and totally blanked it. I want to congratulate Hammerstone because he took a double first place in the super heavyweight division at the annual WJ Classic and Arizona State Bodybuilding Championships about a week and a half ago. And they said that he would have been second overall if they would have had something like that. And tell you, he would look unbelievable. That guy is just putting so much time in the gym. And congratulations to TNA's Hammerstone on a successful competition. Stu.
Way to go, Hammerstone.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, dude's shredded. I would love to hear what his diet is. I mean, I've already talked about the workout, but I never asked him about the diet. Must be something just nuts. But congratulations to Hammerstone. Alexa Bliss is coming back, Stu. She spilled the beans on that. She hasn't announced when, but she said she's definitely coming back soon. So the rumor has it'll be after the start of 2025. But that Wyatt 6 tease is been out there. You excited to get Alexa Bliss into that group?
I've always been torn. Because I get, she enjoys that stuff, but at the same time, I really enjoyed her singles work. So let's see how she fits in.
Yeah, I'm torn on it too, because I loved Little Miss Bliss, being the snotty little girl. She was a lot of fun, and she's a great wrestler. You've already got Nikki Cross in there. I don't know if you really need her or not. You know what I mean? It's just
unless you have her and Nikki go after the tag titles.
Yeah, you could do that. That would be a fun. Those two back together.
Yeah,
in kind of a weird way.
Which, by the way, when do we see a member of the Wyatt Six go after gold?
That is an interesting question. What is their purpose? And I know Phil Stamper and I were talking about that. That what do you, where does this story go with those guys? Do you, are they going to try and take over championships eventually? Are they just going to torture people all day long? Where does this all end up with the Wyatt Six? Because you're not going to be able to do this forever. So what's the end game with these guys?
That's a good question. And and it's, I know I just said, when do they go after championship gold? Because I really do believe this faction doesn't need gold. They don't need championships. The faction is an attraction in and of itself. So do you have them just, every now and again, if you got a heel that needs to be taken down a notch too, do you bring them up? I don't know. And that's the thing. We have not seen them in a couple weeks outside of the QR codes and the teases. We haven't seen them around in a little bit. So
yeah, they've apparently got a new target, but who it is, and
and like you said, they're teasing a new member, which I think most everybody would assume it's going to be Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, so intriguing stuff going on there with WWE. And lastly, Kurt Angle said in a interview that he felt like when he came back to WWE that the reason all this went down and he ended up having to wrestle Baron Corbin was they were teaching him a lesson. Because when he left, it wasn't quite the way he was supposed to do it. He said he was going to stay for 6 months, and then he left right away when his contract ran out and kind of bailed on him and went straight to TNA. Do you think WWE was punishing Kurt Angle?
Sure. It's Vince. It's Vince. So why not?
Yeah.
I mean, he was known to do stupid stuff like that. It was he probably rationalized it in his mind. And so, they did not have a real direction for him. So you have him lose to Baron Corbin at Mania, and that'll teach you or whatever.
Yeah, didn't he make that comment about he didn't care what people thought? And I think he was referring to that match. I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, so yeah, I think Kurt Angle.
He may not have cared, it just didn't make sense.
No, it was ridiculous.
But again,
it was absolutely ridiculous.
Looking, none of it made sense.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Stu, hey, I want to thank you for sitting in with me today. I certainly do appreciate it. I'm sure we'll see you again more and more on Thursday nights and Sunday. And, of course, you can follow him at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRCK, at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. And you can follow our show at Mark Hoke Show on X, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, subscribe there at The Mark Hoke Show. MarkHokeShow.com is the website, and MarkHokeShow.podbean.com for the podcast as well. We're going to get all sorts of stuff up, including the battles that NJ Holiday, Stu, and I had for the Pro Wrestling Time Machine tournament last Thursday. Don't forget, we got our Thursday night show coming up around 8:15 p.m. It's the Mark Hoke Show late night on the internet, YouTube, X, and Facebook. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet